Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Okay, back with another disclosure. We're still trying to decide if it's going to be a disclosure or disclaimer. For the time being, take your pick. Okay, I was inspired to talk about the trinity of off balance, misalignment, and your non-dominant side. Okay. Not a big deal. I'm gonna read this so that I can stay focused on what I'm doing. And it says flexibility. Say no negative, but there's a deficit. The Homeo has negotiated the terms of navigation or lack thereof since the beginning. Flexibility is, and that's a question, what is flexibility to you? Okay. What has been discarded is that it can also be viewed as intelligence. The brain is RAM, or storage, for all that is known or what is thought to be known. Within limits. The brain is mental. It can only hold so much. It never forgets. We may, but that's another story. So where does what we once knew or thought we knew go? The limits of mental is encompassed with the physical. Take when you were in school, you knew everything, or wanted to. The physical was growing, the mental was knowing, together. So as we continue aging, limitations set in. By countering both mental and physical misalignment naturally, flexibility is increased to extend intelligence, thus following the mental to not exhibit a closing or closed off behavior. Even if so, the new movement physically will re-initiate an uninhibited mental state of mind. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, I was just brainstorming, and it's some people may think misalignment, off balance, or lack of flexibility is birth defect, and it's not. It's not a birth defect. It's So the trinity of this is that, so your misalignment, your off balance can be looked at as physical, and it's like, even regardless if it's physical, it's going to be both. It's going to be mental also. So the trinity is misalignment, your non-dominant side. Okay, and if you got a dominant side, that's going to depict misalignment. Okay, and it's like, I don't want you to, this is a medical thing for me, so I don't want you to think that I'm saying anything other than your dominant side depicts a misalignment for health issues, wellness issues, and fitness issues. Okay, it's a trinity, and it's really, really, really important to MentFlex to focus on this, which we do. So I keep saying flexibility, but the flexibility is the tool. The trinity is misalignment, non-dominant, we call it non-dom, which is your weaker side. And then it's going to be alignment, non-dom, and balance. Okay. Alignment, balance, and now we favor the and it's like, as time goes, we're going to favor the non-dominant. It is like, it's no offense, but it's like, this is through experience that we've come up with this information. So we tend to favor our non-dominant sides. Okay, it's all about balance. Now, all these have a lot to do with one another. Okay, alignment, balance, non-dom. Now, they're connected with flexibility. And as you tend to hang out with us a little bit more, you're going to realize that we tend to thrive in flexibility. Okay, that's what we do. And so it's a diamond in the rough. Okay. And if, me telling you that hasn't informed you that we're about flexibility. Okay. So it's like be it a trinity or whatever, it's always going to come back to one. and it's like that one supported by the other two. It's always gonna be like that, and it's like that's simple to us, but it has taken us quite a long time to get the words to say what I'm thinking. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing this, because the action's already been taken care of. We've already put this in motion. It's already in motion. Not stupid, but say, hey, hold up, wait a minute. We at least should tell them. That's the least we can do, is at least tell them. That's why we don't teach. I'm not a teacher. I'm a coordinator. Now, in order for me to coordinate, I've got to put these words. You know how I feel about words out there. I've got to, put them in, let them circulate, get them out in the universe. For whatever reason, it's like that's. I said it. I used some words, try to communicate with you. Excuse me. So this is what I'm doing. It's like you gotta pretty much put up with me, because I'm doing this for you. It's way bigger than me, and it's like to give you some type of foundation or background about us. This is basically what we're interceding with. Because it doesn't really matter, because it's words. Now, I say that, but it's like with these words, I'm therapeutically connecting what we have in action to a language that's layman's terms, and it's going to connect you, if you're interested, to MentFlexX. The video, I'm putting all this up here. So one of these days, when you really bored, you know what I want to say. It's spending time at home by yourself. We're not a lot to do. You know what I'm saying? And you get to looking at the videos, and it's gonna be like, oh, that's what he meant. Oh, that's what that meant. It's just rubbish that I feel I have to do in order to connect you somehow. Okay, in words, however. But that's the price I have to pay for coming back. Because at one time we was about that action, and it's like we're bouncing down through here on MentFlexX, doing some remarkable stuff, and caring about anybody at all. So it's like if we're gonna call it MentFlexX, we at least ought to tell somebody, let somebody know, so that you don't have a guilty conscience, because there's no way we should be doing all this. And if you're, what I'm talking about is it's similar to that movie called Jumpers. Check that movie out, and it's kind of like it's not. I'm not saying that we're jumpers, but theoretically, it's a good example of what I'm trying to say. So, okay, we don't jump time. Theoretically, the premise of the movie is a good example of what I'm trying to say here. Okay, because again, okay. MentFlexX is older than it appears, because you don't really see anything about MentFlexX. What I'm telling you, the videos, blah blah blah, you don't see any mass representation of it. And that's the way it is, because of what we're after. Okay, and I'm going to always say this: what we're after, you already have. You already have. There's nothing MentFlex. That's why there's nothing MentFlex can give you. Nothing, not one thing. It's like, how can you already have it? So that's going to represent the past. You've had it all your life, actually. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are we going to do as a conglomerate? What are we going to do to? Okay, I'm speaking now, putting the words out there. Okay, so that you realize that somebody is for you now, right now, present. Somebody believes in you. Somebody knows, not thinks, that you are the most amazing creation on this planet. And it's like, I'm thinking that now. And it's like you've been taught to counter with, there's got to be an ulterior motive. There's something in it for him. There's something in it for them. Okay, that's your prerogative. Now, the reason why I have to write this and video this, it's low budget, no budget actually. I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this, on the words, because we've got the action. The action is where the riches are. Okay, words, a dime a dozen. I mean, you can, even with inflation, they went up 75 cents. Yeah. And I heard that you out of your mind if you think you can get thoughts for a penny now because of inflation. Everything's going up. So you're out of your mind if you try to get somebody's thoughts for a penny. That used to be. What we've got happening is the past. Is running. They're all coming together. You've got a trinity on the horizon: past, present, future. Okay. Now age is going to separate us, but as this continues to Big Bang, you could consider it the end. Let me know if I spelled that wrong. Or the beginning. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to, but you're going to have people that's like, this is the end, and you're going to have people saying this is the beginning because of the age differences. Okay? And it's like, I'm looking at myself to come back, or come out of the past now and say, hey, we got MentFlex going on. It's going to benefit you in the future, like right now, because we've been through the past. And it's like, FYI, just for your benefit in the future, which is just half a second. There it goes. It's now. There it goes. It's past now, and it's going tick-tock, tick-tock. And some are going to call it the end. Some are going to call it the beginning. We call it the beginning because we know what it is. Okay, that's speculation. You call it whatever you want to. Now, what this has to do with the intelligence, flexibility, is in how it works. It's all summed up. It's going to be summed up in these disclosures, or these disclaimers, whatever we decide to call it. You can call it whatever you want to. Okay, I'm just trying to create a dialogue of something that's a whole lot bigger. On the scale of things, what I'm really talking about, it has no words. It makes no sense. And it's like, this is for your benefit. Now this talking and drawing and that's for me. That's a little bit for me also. But it's like, let's say, I'll go with that. We. It's gonna benefit we. Because a lot of flex doctors say, yo, quit being so selfish. These little sit downs and, you know, drawing up here, you know, it's therapeutic for us. And it's to give you a language, okay? It's to, we look at it as like, you know, if this wasn't on video and you weren't able to see what I'm saying, okay? I think we just come up with a name for this, so disclaimer and disclosure. It's the same thing, but we're gonna see what I'm saying. Okay. Now the trinity of balance, alignment, and your non-dom comes back to you, comes back to single. You only. Okay. Now I'm saying you, but I mean me. To me, it means me. I'm speaking to myself. But I'm saying you so that you know, understand how this is working. So your alignment, balance, and your non-dom is all incorporated into you, into me. Okay. Okay. It's gonna be the head. It's not rocket science. Okay. Layman's terms. You know what the head is, you know what the body is. Okay. We get a little mental. That's a big word. Okay. Physical. Pretty much the same thing, right? You know, just different terminology, different levels of speech. It means the same thing. It's not a big deal. Okay. We can even break it down to even layman's terms, okay? It's just words. That's the point. Now, words don't mean anything if you don't understand them at all. They're gonna, you know, and it's like you can blame that on language. You can blame that on how somebody pronounces it. You can blame it on whatever. But unless you get an understanding of them, okay, say they don't go anywhere. Say. So I know what a body is, okay? But when I say physical, you're like going, do you mean law? You know, some people are just that smart. Laws of physics, do you mean, you know, what is this head meant? You know, you want to complicate things. That's, you know, that's your prerogative. Mental, physical, head and body. Okay. Now, as a human, you pretty much need those to be classified as a human. Okay. Agree to disagree. So we refer to them as mental and physical. So when we're talking about your flexibility, intel. Okay. Let's go and just put that on there. Intel. Okay. That's the artist in me. Intel says the same thing. Okay. Now how can what I'm saying about this flexibility be intel? How can it be intel? Okay, this is joints where this is where everything connects. You got a few. I'm just pointing out. Okay, so this is your range of motion. Now, when I get to talking about this, your range of motion and flexibility and intelligence, it's going to make sense. It may not sound like it, but see what I'm saying. Okay. Now, when you talk about flexibility, you talk about being limber. Okay. You talk about being pliable would be the term. And it's like, we're going to just take it. We're just going to go straight to Webster and get this out of the way. Now, if you got a dictionary, feel free. You want to Google it on your phone. I'm old school represent. Flexibility. Okay, that's what Webster says. Capable of bending or being bent. Easily change. Able to change or to do different things. Willing to change or to try different things. Okay? Flexibility. That's the definition of flexibility. Now, when it comes to intel, as what I read earlier states, through the course of time there comes limitations. Okay. Now, R.O.M, range of motion. Now, this is free. This is free information. If you look, Google it, get you some information. Range of motion. Okay, this is the only degrees coming out of MentFlex. Okay, this may not be for everybody. This is not for everybody, what I'm about to say. This range of motion is the only degrees that you need in life. That's for free. You already got them, range of motion. This is your intelligence. Okay, now as it says, it's the ability to change. Willing to change or to try different things. Let's say, for instance, we're going to draw this, we're going to put this mental and this physical in bed together so that you don't think I'm entirely off my rocker. And what you think is none of my business. I'm just saying. Okay. Now what we're going to do is tie this mental into physical. Okay. Now your mental and your physical is connected by your one and only homie. Okay. This is the smartest thing on the planet. Your homie. And I say that individually. Okay. It's the design of it is beyond us, way beyond us. It's a joke just to think that we think, yes, I'm speculating, that we can deal with this right here. It talks about it in the book. It's very, very, very intellectual. It's very beyond human, the complexity of it. Okay, now, where does this all come together? Physical, range of motion. I've got to put that, spell it INTL, for the intellectuals. But I got to spell it like that too for the hip-hop heads. Okay, they demand me. It's not about me. It's not about me. Don't get it twisted. So I've got to be really flexible in doing this. Now, how does this come together? Okay, your mental is functioning. Okay, you got your 5 senses. You see, smell, all that. Okay, it's working, and it's like it doesn't forget anything. It's like if it comes through these senses, it's stored somewhere. Okay, you ain't got to go clean the attic right now, but it's on your person. It's like in the galaxy. Because it's already been through the senses. Okay, this is your other sense. Homeo is just the big sense right here. Sense. Okay, and its intelligence. I really don't even deserve to be speaking about it. It's so beyond us. The intelligence of this is that it's taken now you can get your own definition of what homeo, so that I'm not putting words in your mouth. Okay, it needs physical intel to make decisions here in the mental. It needs it. Now, some of these joints may have a range of motion. I don't think any of them have 100. You can just do some research and see what the average is. I think it gets down to 20% of this range of motion is depending on the joint. Okay, 20% of it. You're only allowed to say 20%, for it to be 100. But it's like you gotta learn those joints in that range of motion. Now, anytime your range of motion decreases, you're gonna feel like the area, this is way bigger than us, that like the area is enclosing on you, just because it's like the homeo is getting this information. It's like, say you break your elbow, okay, and that's put in a sling or a cast for 6 months, okay, it's going to decrease the range of motion. Okay, and it's like the homeo is going to balance. It's going to come over here. It's like, this is your favorite side, but since it's incapacitated, your homeo's going to navigate, negotiate. You start using this whole perfectly good other side that you have connected to you. Okay, and it's like it's going to facilitate that. It's like for 6 months, you're going to be capable of doing everything you was capable of doing with the other side before you got the cast put on. It's like you're gonna find a way. That's what your homie's gonna. He's gonna keep you. it's going to keep you functioning. It's going to keep you flexible. Okay. Now, anytime this decreases, your range of motion decreases, you're going to feel trapped. And let's say all these joints have a 100% range of motion. Keep it 100. Keep it. That's what we talk about. That's what I'm talking about. Just keep it 100. Okay. So when you're at the top of your game, you know, it's like you feeling your oats. You walking around, you got a whole different stride now. You're keeping it 100. Now, this usually happens around puberty. If you don't know anything about puberty, Google it. Get you some information. You've gone through this process, okay? And it's like some of us haven't, some of us have. Okay. Let me know if I spelled that right. Puberty. And it's like that's one of the reasons why I like to do this, because I am not perfect. And it's like it's okay to be not perfect. You know, I've done a video now. I wrote okay. And it's like if you've seen the video, you'll see what I've done to I meant health. Okay. But if you see the video, you'll see how I compensated for that. And it's like happens all the time. That's kind of like why I like to do this, because it's like I'm going to be just me. I'm going to do me, okay. I'm going to keep it 100. Okay, so I'm going to make an error. So I'm going to misspeak or say a word that I don't know. You know, I can always go to Webster's best of friends. Best of friends are here. These two inseparable. Okay, and it's kind of like your homeo's natural. Yeah, it's like Webster. Webster got you hooked up, man. It's like it's not a bad deal to look. Go on Google, or you know, like I say, I'm old school. I'll pick up a book in a minute. You know, I'll just shoot by cell phone. I don't even trip on cell phone. Yeah, but I can use one. But it's like to go old school. Yeah. Anyway, let me get back to the lecture at hand. I'm gonna end this for editing purposes, so it's not that long. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back with you.